Welcome to Soho Storytime. Today, I wanted to give a special shout out to Mr. McCabe's class, the students of Noah Webster Academy, Pima Campus. I hear that you all like to listen along with me as I read new stories each and every week, and I truly appreciate it and appreciate your support. I am going to read a special book for you today, which is called A Letter for Bob. This book is written by Kim Rogers, who is a member of the Wichita and affiliated tribes, and illustrated by Jonathan Nelson, who is of the Diné Nation. I hope that you enjoy this book today, and I hope that you come back and check often as I read new stories each week. Now let's get ready for story time.
I'm alone, it's story time with So's tales in gentle rhyme. Books that dance and voices sing, adventures bloom on every wing. From distant lands to backyard fun, there's magic here for everyone. Gather round, let's take a look at the wonders in a book.
A Letter for Bob. Dear Bob, Mom and Dad told me about the day they bought you at the dealership when I was a baby. Everyone was so excited, and I giggled in my car seat. They said that your paint sparkled in the sun, your seats felt feather soft, and you had that new car smell that made Mom and Dad act like us kids on Christmas morning. Every car deserves a name, so when I could talk, I called you Bob. Bob stuck with the rest of the family too. It fit. Strong, fun, trustworthy Bob. We've made so many memories with you. At the Wichita annual dance, putting on regalia, you were near when I danced my very first Tiny Tots. And a few years later, when I ate too much fry bread at the Indian Hills powwow and, uh-oh, you didn't seem to mind. Sorry about that. And the other stuff we spilled or splashed or dropped, sorry about that too. On our vacation from Oklahoma to Grand Teton, when we spotted the moose in the bristly sagebrush, Mom yelled, "Get in the car now!" And you sped away so fast. Then you took us to Yellowstone, where Old Faithful shot up to the sky, right on schedule. You brought us there and back, all in one piece. You drove us to visit Uga in the Smoky Mountains, which the Cherokee called Shikonahay, before she got sick. You were close when she watched us at Sliding Rock. The water was so cold it took our breath away. Dad had said, "The water is just fine." Brr, grr, he thought. That was so funny. You were there when we walked down to Looking Glass Falls. That was the day Grandma last remembered things about Grandpa. We stood in the spot where they had their very first date. You got us to Casey's baseball games and Abby's lacrosse tournaments and the Oklahoma State Fair. To school, to the library, to friends' houses, and to the dog park with Max. You took us to the hospital when Jenna was born, and then when we brought her home, you were with us. You drove us to show Jenna off at Auntie Deidre's house, where all the cousins gathered round to celebrate her birth with Indian tacos and strawberry cake. You were a big part of our family, always waiting to take us on another adventure or drive us home. When your paint got dull or dirty, we washed and shined you up real nice. When you needed a tune-up or repair, Mom and Dad were there. When we got into a fender bender, you kept us safe, and we took care of you then too. Today is hard because it's the day we say goodbye. We've loved having you, and you will always be a part of us. But when families grow, sometimes they need bigger cars. We will never forget you, Bob. So deets for the memories. Love always, Katie. Look, they left their other car behind because they needed a new car as their family is growing. Sometimes that happens. The end. Thank you so much for reading A Letter for Bob with me. I hope you enjoyed this book as much as I did, and I hope that you come back and check often as I read new stories each week. Have a beautiful day.